Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lee. I hope you visited me before, but if you haven't and this is your first time, welcome. I appreciate anybody that wants to stop by just to take a look, and that's okay. And if you'd like to come back and see some more, that's even better. So anyway, I've been discussing tarot and tarot card readings, and I told you that I had been using the Deviant Moon tarot set, and some of my other videos on this page will tell you some of my story in regards to that set. But you know, all the years that I ever thought about tarot, when I first learned about it, probably in the late 60s or early 70s, I always liked the idea of the raw reading using a deck of playing cards. That's how Grandma and Grandpa would have done it, right? Or in your case, some of you younger people, your great-grandparents. They couldn't justify going out and spending the money to buy a set of tarot cards. They really weren't even available until the 70s. So back in the early days, the people used playing cards. They understood some of the principles of tarot reading because the first famous tarot deck came out in 1909 and became very popular. And it was at that time that tarot was really born into the modern age. Now there's dozens, if not literally hundreds, of decks out there to choose from. I took a look on eBay, and there was dozens of different sets there, and probably twice as many that I didn't see that are out there too. Most of them are based on the same principles of the three suits: the wands, cups, swords, and pentacles. But there was just something raw and visceral about the early days of tarot reading. I'm not even so sure a lot of the people called it tarot reading. I think it was just the reading of the cards. Fortune telling. Even a little bit of a magic tinge or supernatural there. Now in our modern era, they talk about symbolism and interpretation, and intuitive readings, and focus on the art and how do you feel and that, and I can certainly understand that angle. And psychologists have even put a value on tarot reading as being self-examination. There's no real supernatural element to it. It's all in your head, so to speak. And there's probably some validity to that. But if you could go back 100 years to 1926 and see your grandmother or your great-grandmother sitting at the table, if she was into this kind of thing, which a lot of people were in the spiritualism movement up till World War II, she may have very well have known how to read the cards. You know, a lot of these people from that era, from 1900 to 1940, a lot of them believed in a lot of kooky stuff that's been disproven nowadays. It was kind of the last gasp of the great spiritualism craze that swept across America. I think some of that spiritualism still survives today, and I can't help but be influenced by it myself. I really don't know for sure if any of it's valid or not, but I wish it was, because it's a very beautiful subject. The idea that you could communicate with people on the other side, the seances, predicting the future, getting help from supernatural entities on the other side. It really is a beautiful subject, and looking at some of the YouTube videos I've seen, there's a lot of people that really are into it and really love it. I've seen other tarot videos that are really interesting, and the people sport jewelry and have a camera facing down on their desk, and they've got all the magic items around the edge, and a lot of them are sporting a nose ring and tattoos. I find it really interesting and amusing, and I can't be judgmental because I'm one of them, although I don't have any tattoos and I don't have a nose ring. But I do have a very strong interest in this kind of stuff, the occult, supernatural, and the cards in particular. I really like the tarot cards. I've only got one deck, but I found I've got several playing card decks around here. So I started thinking about the tarot, and then I started thinking about the history of tarot, and then I started thinking about how people use playing cards. Cartomancy, I guess they call it. And so I looked it up a little bit today, and I thought just for the fun of it that I would use a regular deck of cards and do a drawing and a spread. And I was thinking about my friends that watch me on YouTube, and I thought it would be interesting if I do it for you. So that's what this spread is about, is all my watchers on YouTube, which aren't too numerous at this time. And I use the old-fashioned method of the playing card deck. In this deck that I use, there's 54 cards because it has 2 jokers. 52 regular cards and then 2 jokers. The jokers are used as 2 of the major arcana. One joker is the Fool. The other joker is the Magician. So anyway, I shuffled the cards real good, and I tried to concentrate almost in a prayer-like state of mind, trying to reach out to my friends on YouTube. And I really focused on the question of where things at for you, hoping that they are in a good place. I hope you're in a good place. And so I really tried to do my best to make it the real McCoy. I sent out the mental image that I wanted to see, past, present, and future. Then I drew the cards, and as I explained before, I used the 4th card as a qualifier. I drew the cards that you see here. The first card was the 10 of clubs, which translates to the tarot card of the 10 of wands. My second card was the 9 of clubs, which translates to the 9 of wands. My third card and final card of the 3 was the Jack of Hearts, which translates to the Knight of Cups. And then the qualifier, the 2 of Hearts, which translates to the 2 of Cups. And I looked up the meanings because I wanted to know. There's a little bit of difference in the interpretation of the playing cards and the tarot cards. And some users really, there's a broad difference, but generally speaking, most of the tarot card readers seem to believe that the playing cards are read pretty much the same way, and I can buy into that idea too. It sounds reasonable to me. So the first card, the Ten of Clubs, its symbols are oppression, having a burden to bear, but being able to handle it, and overwhelming stress. So is this a reflection of my life or your life? I don't know. You know, I lived a hard life with very little resources, doing manual labor and seasonal work, and every winter I starved to death. I was always broke at Christmas time, so I can relate to the having a burden to bear. But I survived, so I was still able to handle it. That past I can accept. The second card, the Nine of Clubs, or the Nine of Wands, stopping to ponder during challenging events. A pause to summon the will to continue with the struggle. And having hope. Well, my present condition, I'm a little bit past this stage, but having 2 kids to raise and a second marriage and a business to run so I could afford to have 2 kids and a wife, it was challenging, very challenging, and there was a lot of winters where the money was short, and it was a struggle. I always felt like I won if I could pay the rent on time. And I always did have hope. And the present is a long time sometimes, isn't it? My present may have lasted 30 years. The third card, the Jack of Hearts, or the King or Knight of Cups, romantic, someone with new ideas, an offer of opportunity. Well, that would be the future card, and I feel that that's a pretty solid estimation too. I've got 1 foot in the future, and my future is looking better than my past and my present did. I would say my future looks very good, and I feel comfortable about it. I'm just recently retired, so I've had a little bit more time to myself and had the opportunity to pursue more enjoyable pursuits. And so there I had my 3-card spread. And as I've told you in other videos, I always go for number 4, the qualifier. And so this qualifier, the 2 of Hearts or the 2 of Cups, is a beautiful card. Love, harmonious partnership, coming together. That sounds kind of like where it's at for me nowadays, I'm happy to say. Especially now that I've gotten retired, I've had time to where I haven't had to worry so much anymore. I got a Social Security check coming in every month, so I don't have to sweat going out and trying to make a buck to pay the electric bill or to fix the car. So this drawing, I was thinking of you, the audience out there, and I wish you'd look at this draw and think about what I had to say. And if it works for you, or you say any kind of relationship to your situation or your life, please take a second and write a few words in the comment section. Let me know if my spread here meant anything to you, or if there's any accuracy in it. Maybe it's a complete blowout. And if it is, let me know that too. Until the next episode, we'll see ya. Bye-bye.